Gravedigger, one of the most unique and interesting games I have probably ever played. There's something that hooked me instantly. It was the gunplay, which is different from most other shooters on the market right now. And the themes and the art, which are dark and hopeless. A teammate getting shot next to me screams on the floor while dying, or is audibly in the process of choking on their own blood. I get my neck snapped in the dark by someone with a trench mace. I make a desperate last stand against half of the enemy team in a dead end with nothing but a bolt-action rifle and a six-shooter. Some crazy motherfucker hoists my dying form into the air from the end of a pike. There's really no other game like it. Such a breath of fresh air from the meta of fast-paced, first-person movement shooters where its best players are abusing their Adderall and are 3 white monsters deep to drop a 100-kill game every game. But for a while, I've had this sinking feeling. And I felt it before. It's when your favorite game just doesn't hit the same way anymore. It's when you're watching it decline in real time. And even though I am just a player, a user who is owned absolutely nothing by anyone, not even these developers, I feel almost betrayed. And while I will definitely get into all of this, I want to start first with Arcximus. Red is one of my favorite Roblox developers. Not only are her games good, but her visual style has always been striking to me. Something else I admire about Red is how her games have literally 0 microtransactions and she is totally independent. Which means no ulterior motives, no cash grabs, no game passes, no pay to win. Everything you get is done 100% out of passion. Despite all of this, I will never get invested into an Arcx game ever again. And the reason is simple. The game is finished. There's this neat game called Decaying Winter. This game is an eternal post-development hell. I'm not gonna go out of my way to diss the new Decaying Winter team or the Lost Concept team or whatever the fuck they are calling themselves now, because the new Decaying Winter is kind of okay so far. But what was Decaying Winter? Decaying Winter was a game with a dedicated, albeit slightly psychotic, unmedicated fan base of troubled teenagers. But they were people who loved the game, hold passion for it. And while I was happy with my Decaying Winter, I almost held this sort of resentment towards her newer game, which at the time was Gravedigger. I was absolutely unaware of what it was about. She left Decaying Winter for this? It made me angry that a gem was just left behind like it was. Left to incompetent devs who have weird cringe drama between themselves every 3 to 6 months. And most of the time it includes exploiting somebody underage. Also, can we talk about how the people that Red surrounds herself with, maybe once a year, one of the people in her community management team are a predator? Can we look into this? And of course, Red finished Gravedigger. The final update dropped, and I will talk about that. And the game released. And just like before, she's done. Is it Red's fault for having a vision, seeing it out, making it real, and then moving on? No, absolutely not. That's the beauty of developing a game on your own. The problem lies in the people that you leave it to. The spiel about Max will come later. But I can't help but fear the fate of Decaying Winter will befall Gravedigger as well. Red is working on a new game right now, but why should I ever play another one of her games when this is the cycle? Why should I ever be invested in another game that's going to be abandoned in a year? A game that gets fan art. A game that inspired people like me to spend months of my time practicing and learning and trying to do my best to show this game that I love real passion and work in the form of my animation. Why would I ever get invested in another one if it is going to be dashed away in an instant? Now, don't get me wrong. I don't want live service. I mean, let's look at Fortnite. What season are they on? Whatever. I don't want live service. It just needs... We'll get into that. But what we got after Red left was Max. So, there is a lot to say here. I'm not trying to absolutely dog on Max, because I understand his situation. He's by himself, I think, developing the game. It has this huge legacy. I mean, 57,000 people are in the server as I'm recording this, almost 58,000. Imagine you go from being some Trello upkeep guy to somehow owning the game. I mean, that's a big jump, right? So there's some respect for Max for wanting to pick up the torch, right? He just ain't it, okay? This is not the way. And, I mean, at the end of the day, I'm just some angry fucking dude on the internet yelling into a microphone because I had an unenjoyable maybe 3 hours in the game. But I feel like there is just so much It's just not fair. Because what we could have had would have been so much better. Basically, this guy, in the words of Admiral Briggs from Black Ops 2,
this cat walks alone.
His vision for Gravedigger is, I think, quite different from Red's. But there's just something about the changes that Max first made when he took over the game that absolutely rubbed me like the totally wrong way. And I'm not even reading from a script anymore. This is just off the top of my head. Before I get into anything else, here's some context. Max was one of the people responsible for taking care of the Trello. What is a Trello? Good question. It is basically a very it's like a wiki, but it's not a very good wiki. It's like you're supposed to use it to plan stuff out. So Max was one of the people in charge of Trello alongside a few other people. The Trello would give you, numbers like damage, range on guns, the cooldowns, and the effects of everything in the game. So, data. And I think having all of these stats out here that aren't explained in the game is good. I think it's good that every little thing is documented, because then if there is something wrong, you can kind of go out of your way and test some things and go, oh, I think the penetration on this gun is a little too high. It needs maybe 1 stud less, or it's just anything like that. So the first thing Max does, to my knowledge, the first thing I heard about after the torch was passed on was, oh God, here we go. So I don't remember the exact situation. Max changed, I want to say, the damage on something. He nerfed a gun and then didn't say anything about it. And, for some time, it stayed like this. But someone called him out on it. No fatality. Another guy involved, not so much in the development, but he somehow had some kind of access to the actual game, to the place on Roblox. So Nova pulls the data to see what was changed. Again, I don't remember exactly what, but Max made this change and told nobody. So, that's a great first impression, right? And Max, he has like 1,000 hours on the game and whatever. So he's a good player, but he will die to a gun. I'm getting off track. To sum all of this bullshit up, and I'm sure you could go into the Gravedigger server or talk to some people on the Gravedigger Reddit, and you could figure out what exactly happened. And the reason I'm not talking about it here is because, 1, I really don't give a fuck. And 2, it's not worth my time. Basically, it gets to a point where the community is divided, where Max is making these changes and then nobody likes them. And then there are people that are trying to, support Red's decision, support Arceximus's decision to put this new guy in charge. And it's just not good. Not a good situation. It really sucks. It does suck. Because I wish that I could, just maybe not have my way, but at least if it was someone who wasn't so, I want to say, narrow-sighted. I mean, at the end of the day, I'm just some fucking loser that has absolutely zero say on the game, but I'm very passionate about it. Okay, where even was I? After months of changes that nobody wanted, and also making small changes just to win internet arguments and prove a point, he nerfed the sprint speed by 1 stud to see if anyone would notice, and they didn't. Because why the fuck would you notice? And it's just like he did this to, ultimately try to say, oh, it doesn't matter. And, to see if someone's actually going to figure it out. Why do this? You could instead be, open, oh, the 50-some thousand people that play the game that I develop now, they're unhappy with something? No. So instead of listening to the community, instead of trying to figure out what people wanted, he couldn't make the changes that he wanted to the game. So he was making a new one. This game came out maybe a year ago. Not even a year ago. And it's already just dropped. How many other games on the Roblox platform has ever happened to? I mean, sure, it's not like Roblox is a studio full of, industry professionals that have standards and shit, but whatever. On top of already being pretty unpopular among some people, we're going to split the player base in 2. The people that like Gravedigger as it is now are going to stay, and the people that want content and want to move on or whatever, they'll try out Max's new game. In a game that already only has 2,000 people playing it at any time? I mean, I don't know. Like I said, I'm not a game developer. I'm just some loser on the internet that gets mad. Okay, so going back in time a little bit. Max was first put in, right? No Vitality. This guy, he was kind of like a community person, I think. I never actually went to any of his events, but he was active within the community. Weekly or monthly hosted events either in Gravedigger or like game nights. And I would say he was kind of popular among everyone. He was in charge of the special maps program, which was basically Red's kind of people submitted maps to the special maps program, and some of them that were implemented into the game through special maps would eventually become base game maps. On top of this, this guy also made or added new guns to the game. They were silly, but it was for the Saving Private Weller event. So Nova has talent, the knowledge capable of making content for Gravedigger, and he was already popular. So why didn't Nova get the game? Well, there's one very simple answer to that. It's called nepotism. And that's why I'll never play another Red game again. Because instead of taking people that actually know what they're doing, people that have passion for the game, people who actually give a fuck, are kind of pushed to the side for someone who is a closer friend to the main developer. Is that any of my business? No. But as a player of the game, it really fucking sucks to see. In summer of 2025, I was at probably one of the lowest points of my life, coming back from an even lower point, right? And Phantom Forces wasn't hitting for me anymore. Gravedigger. What a game. Where one of the only games where I could scream my heart out, have so much fun, and spend hours upon hours and skip work to play Gravedigger.
To anyone I work with that is watching this, that was a joke.
Right? Great game. And just to see it fall apart, oh, it really hurts.
Look, there is a whole lot more I could say. I could describe the situation with Nova. I could describe, but I'm just not going to get into it. Actually, I'll do it right now. The tiniest amount of drama was nitpicked and escalated to a point where Nova was completely taken off of anything to do with Gravedigger, and then he just left. But it's okay that people that are in charge of the community, people that draw porn in a fucking Roblox game server, they're allowed to stick around, though. That's fine. God, it's too fucking late for this.
Okay, so there's been a lot of talk about Max and the people that run the community. But, I mean, who cares about any of that? Because the only thing that matters at the end of the day is, what is the current state of the game? Fucking horrible! It's fucking horrible! Gravedigger is a game where the entire map is a blank slate and every game is different. And this is because of the mining feature. Mining. Gunfights in tunnels. Gunfights in the caves, right? So why is it that 90% of the modes of this fucking video game happen on maps in control points? Why are there maps that are giant concrete fucking boxes that are nearly impregnable? And why are there maps that are made entirely out of fucking wood and wall bangable and nowhere is safe? But if you're not on the point, you fucking lose. I wasn't around for the start of Gravedigger, but from what I've seen, the game was essentially 3 points or 1 point, and they were flat. And you would have to mine out the point yourself. I would prefer that over the bullshit now where, oh, yeah, I got wall banged, or yeah, this elevator crushed me, or yeah, the top of the point, it has the cache, but it's not actually in the point, so you have to stay on the first floor. Oh, by the way, the second floor is very accessible, so not only can enemies come in from this side and that side, they can come from the roof, they can come from any of the windows. What the fuck have you done? What are you thinking? This game is so perfectly balanced for a third-person shooter game. What is the biggest problem with third-person shooters? You can see around corners. Oh, yeah, let's give everyone a light so we can see them. That's fucking brilliant. That is such a good way to fix this issue. And it's genuinely a great third-person shooter game. The only one I can fucking stand playing. God forbid Division. Like, it's brilliant. It's lightning in a bottle is what it is. And it's so unfortunate that it was developed by Red Arc Eximus and it's on Roblox. This game works very differently compared to a game like Call of Duty or Battlefield, where You have 100 HP, you get shot a bunch, you die. If you get shot a bunch, you run away and you regen, right? Not in this game. You have 200 HP in Gravedigger. Any damage you take above 100 can naturally be regenerated. If you fall under 100 HP, you need surgery. Most guns will two-shot you. At least rifles. Like, they do 120 damage at a certain range. And there's drop-off, right? So there's this really, really nice just bones to a game here, where if you're far away and you get shot by a rifle not meant to shoot long range, you might not even fall in under 100 HP. If you fall under 100 HP, you have to do surgery. And then you'll go from 99 HP to 100 after surgery, and then you'll naturally regen all the way. As the game, it continued to develop, it got new content. But some of this content really just doesn't fit the fucking game. For a game that's supposed to be so slow-paced and methodical, it's just so fucking brain-dead. What is more brain-dead than a Lancer charging you and one-shotting you? What is more brain-dead than getting your helmet blown off and getting one-shot through your helmet because this gun's gimmick is that? How is it fair that this little fucking shotgun pistol can't one-shot from here, but if you throw it at someone across the map and it hits them, they can die instantly if they are missing even 1 HP? Like, hello? The design choices for this game, time and time again, are just fucking questionable at best. 80% of the time, 90% of the time.
Do not even get me started on Final Stand or Last Stand, because I don't think we're ready to have this conversation. I think the campaign mode in general was one of the worst things for the health of Gravedigger solely because it removed the auto balance at the end of every round. And I will die on that hill.
Oh, yeah. And, as a parting gift, the crossbow does 199 damage. Through helmets, can't kill you, but, like, why? And then you can run it with the Talon, which can quick fire, or Rook Bomb, or Jesse Grenade, and just get one-shotted, or so quickly two-shotted that it looks like a one-shot. And lots of people don't like Vanguard, but I do like them. I think they were a good addition to the game. Lancer, okay. They're an okay character, sure. But they shouldn't be able to charge into one of the only safe corners where you are forced to go at the end of the game, and if they have a certain perk on, can kill 3 fucking people for free! Why? In a game full of bolt actions and double actions, and you have to pull back the hammer every time to fire. Why are we going to add a gun that has a 20-round magazine that can 4-shot shock troopers from across the fucking map? Why are we going to have a gun that gives it's like a fucking marksman rifle? It's bam, 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 fucking bullshit! A gun so good, in fact, that one of the best players of the game, OOJ, literally only ran it before he quit. Someone who is so just competitive and, a good player. Why would you use anything else? So now the game is full of people that run anything but bolt actions. So that kind of loop of, peeking and missing, and maybe your opponent misses, and it's just gone. Replaced with, I probably haven't made a lot of sense, right? But at the end of the day, I am someone greatly inspired by Gravedigger, by the atmosphere, by the gameplay, by just how brutal it was. And I mean, the death sounds, just so good. She took death sounds from Ready or Not and other really gritty games, and they fit perfectly. And that atmosphere and the love that I have, the warmth in my heart for this game, slowly been dwindling. Yeah, I'm angry. Humans want to find someone to take their anger out on. Humans want to, it's not my fault. It's this person's fault. It's unfair that Max has a lot of hate. But Max doesn't... It's like, instead of responding to any criticism with any good intent, Max responds to people with, righteous indignation. The most unbearable Redditor snarky fucking comebacks, and it's so obnoxious. So of course you're gonna act like this and talk like this and people aren't going to like you.
And if you think I'm kidding, go into GD General and look at any message he has ever replied to that is even slightly negative in nature. Seriously, go do it right now. I swear to God, you'll find one on the first page.
So I'm just sitting here recording this, and I don't even know what else to say. I had this idea of some really kind of motivational or smart thing to say, but it's just, I quit. I'm just done. And it sucks. It sucks to lay down a game that you really like. And I mean, I've exchanged some messages with Max about this. I kind of came like, yeah, I have a hyperfixation for this game, right? I'm someone who is a little different mentally, and I really like certain things a lot more than other things.
Just don't get hyperfixated, lol.
But I didn't just want to quit without putting my piece out there. No matter how valuable or not valuable or fucking stupid my piece is, I just think Gravedigger is going to die. And it's going to be slow. It's going to be slow in all the memories, all this fan art, and everything is going to be gone.
And then we're going to add content in April Fool's updates that are genuinely pretty cool things, and then just fucking remove them. Because it's not like this game is hurting for content or anything. And then to shove salt in the wound, we're gonna talk shit about it. Like, go fuck yourself.
I think the only kind of hope that's really left, I mean, some people would think Gravedigger Redug, Max's second game or Max's first game that he's working on. But I mean, come on. I think the only kind of hope that's really left is fan games. And I really think somebody just needs to make their own Gravedigger. Now, I mean, you're not going to be able to make money off of it, but why? Why would you put all this effort into something that will never be as good as what Gravedigger once was? Do I like this game too much? Yeah. Is it not that deep? No. Do I have crippling depression? Yeah. Will I ever work on another animation? Probably. Maybe. Yes. Okay, bye.